Welcome to the From Whistle to Whistle podcast on the Dynasty DNA podcasting network, where we debate the hottest NFL and Dynasty fantasy football topics every week. So sit back, pick a side, and enjoy the show. And here is your From Whistle to Whistle host and moderator, TJ Blake.
Welcome back, DNA Strand crew, to the newest episode of From Whistle to Whistle here on the Dynasty DNA podcasting network. I'm your host, TJ Blake. You can follow me over on X at FFTJBlakeDNA. And as always, in his blue corner, the blue bets, is like I call it all the time, it's Ty Blake, my Dynasty DNA co-founder. You can follow him over on X at Dynasty DNA Ty. Ty, you know, you got about a week to go, getting close before you can start betting on regular season football again. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
You can't wait to get those bets in, and, you know, you're going to be able to post some of those on social media maybe for the DNA Strand crew. We're going to have to pick your brain on some of that. I know Tessier was hoping we'll see what we could come up with on that, adding to our DFS content, to our fantasy stuff as well. But we got to go over to the red corner, and we're joined by the baddest man on the fantasy planet, the guy I always say is the other rabid Steelers fan on this podcast. I mean, there's three of us, and I'll tell you what, it can be dark, dark days at times, and it will continue to be because we're realists. It's Mike Shanoudi. You can follow him over on X at Shanu471. Mike, you know, getting close to week one, Steelers football against the Falcons. Are you think we're going to be ready for this? What's your thoughts?
Well, you know, it better be ready, because if we lose to Tua or Penix, I know one person who's going to talk a lot of shit against us, and that man is Big Culture Bob, because it's a left-handed mess over there. If we can't beat them, cancel the season. Just cancel it already. I'm already at this point now, but, you know, I'm really excited for the new McCarthy offense. I'm really excited to see what Graham does with our defense. TJ Watt saying he's going to fly around. Hopefully we can sign Joey Porter Jr. because he wants to be the highest paid freaking corner, so we'll see.
You got to love that about these players at the NFL level. Anyone that plays above average always has to be the highest paid, right, whenever their contract's up. That's the way it always goes. But last but not least, in his studio, and I don't hear the cricket tonight, folks. Inside joke, it's the Dynasty DNA propaganda minister himself on the Wisconsin-Minnesota line. It's Tessier, better known as Justin Tessier. You can follow him over on X at Tessier91. Tessier, you fed the cricket some treats, and it went into hiding tonight. We got rid of it for now.
Let's hope it stays that way. Otherwise, I'm going to have to bite some kneecaps later.
Let me just say this. Tessier was so pissed when that cricket was. I love that, man. Like, we're sitting there recording all of a sudden. Even Ty thought that was funny. He's like, the cricket has finally gone away. He was so happy about that. But, man, oh, man, we take the small victories here at Dynasty DNA. But we got a great show lined up here for everyone today. A lot of news here, and we apologize. This show should have come out on Tuesday. Because of audio quality, we had to do it tonight. But we're only a day behind. But we got a lot of news to talk about here. Ty, we'll start out with you. And it's a team you love up by the lake there in Ohio, Cleveland. It's week one Watson. With Deshaun Watson winning the Browns starting quarterback job, Ty, what does this mean for the team? Is it worse than Shador starting, in your opinion? Does this hurt or help the Browns' weapons more in 2026? We'll start with that. Then I want to talk a little bit about Shador also.
It's kind of what I figured. I mean, it's kind of what everybody figured. I mean, they paid him all that money. He almost had to start. I don't know how long it's going to be, whether it be injury or they're going to take him out, because the fans just despise the guy, as they should. But yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be, but definitely I think you're going to see Shador. I don't know at what point in the season, but at some point, because they got 2 first-round picks next year. They're going to be a bad team. They're going to want to see what they have in Shador. He's going to have to really light it up for them to not go with a quarterback. So he's definitely going to see the field. I mean, just to see what they have, because they got them 2 first coming up next year.
But all right, Ty, part 2 to this question, you know, Shador Sanders, does this take a hit on his dynasty value? I mean, you said he's going to get the chance at some point this season. You totally feel that way. Like, are you in on him at all? Do you think he maybe gets moved to another team? What's his dynasty future look like for you?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm not in on him at all. I don't think he's had much value really since we kind of seen what he has. I mean, he's not a great quarterback. I don't think he's anything special, but yeah, he's definitely going to get a look. I just know I'm not interested. I mean, he's going to have to really do something special for them to turn their head and not take a quarterback next year in that loaded class, which I just don't see any reality where that happens. So, I mean, if he's going to have a future, I think he's going to have to go somewhere else. Will that happen? I'm not sure. I mean, probably, because he's kind of a confident guy in himself. He's going to think he can go somewhere and be the guy. So, I just know I'm not touching with a 10-foot pole. I don't have much belief in him. But, I mean, he's probably a cheaper option if you do like him. I just don't think he's great.
So last thing I want to ask, Ty, you know, the weapon category here for the Browns, like I know it's not good any way you cut it. Like if you had to choose, do you think Shador be better for the weapons, though, in the short term, like your Harold Fannons?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think for Fannin, I mean, he played pretty well with Fannin last year. Outside of that, I don't know really much about the rookies. We haven't seen much from them with Watson, with Sanders, so I can't really answer that. But I would definitely say Fannon's going to take a hit having Deshaun Watson out there, yeah.
Compared to Shador. And that's all valid points because, look, I mean, as much as I know the fantasy community out there, guys, are like, oh, well, we really don't care about the Browns or the Browns quarterback situation, right? But to be fair, right, there's other players that this is going to affect.
Yeah.
So it does matter to some degree. If you roster Harold Fannin, you got to keep that in the back of your mind. Mike, let's go over here to you now, my friend. And you know this AFC North just as well as anybody. You know, what's your thoughts here? Deshaun Watson named the Browns starter here in week 1. Do you think that they're tanking, maybe going for that number 1 overall pick? Is this some kind of sick way of them thinking that they could compete a little bit more? And what do you think this means for the Browns' weapons? And we'll talk about Shador here in a second, but what do you think this means for the Browns' weapons with Deshaun Watson?
So let's just play a little game of timeline. Watson talked about the club booing him, the fans booing him. I want out. All these people want him out. And then all of a sudden, Todd Monken and the front office were like, no, this is our guy. The guy who wants to not be here, who gets booed by the fans. I mean, it's just laughable at this point with the Browns. Like, as much as we want to have a lot of stock into these weapons, we like Concepcion from the draft. We liked Junkins last year. We liked Fannin. I just don't think that, like, might be an 0-17 team. I hate to say it. I mean, this is terrible. Like, I just don't think Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback anymore. They have to prove a point with the contract. I understand in the trade and all that stuff. I personally don't think Shador is that great of an upgrade anyways, but I think he's better than what Watson can provide, and I think it could help those weapons a little bit. For me personally, if I have Brown weapons, I am trading them away. Like, I just can't trust this system anymore. At least with the Jets, they're trying something, Like, I know I'm comparing apples to oranges, but at least they were, like, trading Sauce Gardner and trading Williams to get picks, and they went to go get Geno, who I don't think is a bad quarterback by any means, but he's not, like, the next guy. It's just they're trying to be a little competitive and trying to shred a little bit of those season tickets and ticket sales. But this is terrible, man. I just feel bad for the city of Cleveland because some of those people are the salt of the earth down there, and if you guys listen to Browns radio, they are just boo him at the mall, boo him at when you see him walking his dog, boo him all the time because this guy, that is the most sensitive, no offense, crap I've ever heard in my entire life. Take the boos like a man. You played awful. I don't condone the cheering with the ACL, but that whole thing this is the most Brown thing I've ever heard.
It's the most Browns thing I ever heard. And, Mike, I think that was the phrase that really is going to spin itself through this next couple of weeks. You're absolutely right. But let's go ahead and talk about Shador Sanders, right? Like Ty said, and I think you can agree with this, if you had to put a vote on it, you think that the weapons would be better off with Shador. I'm sure that you're probably going to go that direction. But what do you think this means for his dynasty future? Do you think he's off this roster in Cleveland next year, Mike? And do you think he gets a shot somewhere else?
No, I still think he's going to be there in Cleveland. I think, and personally, I don't know about buy low. I just would like to see what they're going to do. If they're the number 1 overall pick, I think Arch is going to be their pick because we all know that's probably the grand prize right now. It could be more. It could be Sellers. Who knows who it could be. But I think another quarterback will be added to that jersey list that they have. Sanders, he could have the job next year. They could say forget about quarterback this year, but it's supposed to be a touted class, and I don't see them not taking a quarterback. I can see Sanders being traded off and being somewhere else. So for him, I think it might be better off that way. I think he might go somewhere else, 100%.
For sure. All right, here, Teixeira, we're going to ask you, right? Deshaun Watson getting the nod for Week 1 start here in Cleveland for the Browns on the road against Jacksonville. What's your takeaways from this? I mean, what's your thoughts for all the weapons in Cleveland? What's your thoughts on Deshaun Watson starting? Do you think, like Mike said, this is just the most Brown thing ever yet again? And we'll talk about Shador in a second.
I think for Week 1, outside of the usual suspects of Fannin and Judkins, I would think staying away from Browns assets in Week 1 versus Jacksonville. I think that's going to be a tougher matchup for them, but they're most likely going to be playing from behind, and you're going to have to put up points. So maybe the passing game gets going. But because it's Deshaun Watson, as I get into, I think it's going to be a slower start for the Browns this year as far as passing attacks and fantasy relevancy for those receiving options that we touted in drafting him in rookie drafts of Concepcion and Boston. I think that's the ultimate fade on the Judys and Tillmans. And then I just hold on, grin and bear it, and play Harold Fannin and hope for the best to start the year if you don't have a better option at tight end. But if you do, I would say probably at best flex him Week 1 and early on in this season. It's a tough pill to swallow, but the reality is that I don't think Deshaun Watson, to your question, is going to be providing any sort of significant fantasy value for you in your matchups with these players. I think it's just going to be really tough, and it's going to be really hard to watch, and you're just going to have to, if you're in the camp of holding on to them, just wait it out, because I think at some point, like Ty alluded to, they're going to make this changeover from Watson to Sanders. That being said, I think your value for Sanders is probably going to maintain like where it's at all year round. It's not going to go up. It's not going to go down. It's just going to be kind of moderate to where it has been, because he's just not going to have that opportunity for reps and getting out there and showcasing himself because of this whole Watson project that's still going on. So if you're looking for like a reserve quarterback for 2027, I don't mind if you can get him on the cheapest just to have there. I mean, I'm not trying to deploy him as my 2 or my 3, but just having, if you got open roster spots, I don't mind doing that. But Watson, absolutely not. No, not even if there's a fire would I want to watch to this guy, even though he's starting for the Browns this year. I think it's going to be really, really abysmal for this team again, and they're going to be looking forward to 2027 after Week 1 already.
And that seems to be the unfortunate thing for the Browns each and every year, right? Like April, the draft, right? The next season, and let me just say this. Teixeira would not even start Deshaun Watson if there was a fire, right? And that got him a point, because I always appreciate that kind of context when we're talking. But let me just say here right now, right, like I'm going to speak on the fans of Cleveland. And I know like we always kind of give them a hard time and this and that, but like this is downright dirty. Like this guy has nothing left. Deshaun Watson doesn't even want to be there. Like he has no interest. He got what he wanted. He got the contract, right? The Browns are stupid enough to give it to him, and he got it. The fans are tired of it. They're sick of it. I mean, 6 years or 5 years he's been there. Like, how many more times can you trot him out there and think it's going to work? It's not going to work. He doesn't want to be there. He's not interested. He's been off of football for almost 2 years, right? So it isn't a good look for the Browns whatsoever, and the fans. And I have plea with their plight over this whole ordeal. And look, I'm not a big Shador guy, but at least it gives you something, right? It's a young player, and I do think it helps the weapons. But let me just say this, right? They could get out of Watson. I was listening to Cleveland's radio because, I mean, it is humorous. Like, they are like the streets are burning right now in Cleveland. They were talking about, like, June is liberation time. June of next year, I guess, that they can finally cut Watson, and it won't be absolutely excruciating. I mean, yes, they're going to take a little bit on the chin, but it isn't going to be near what it would be if they did it now. So, I mean, look, it's over. I get it. Monken's a guy that probably wants to not be a one and done. He wants to play a veteran, but it just doesn't look good. And if you have those weapons, I'm like these guys. Like, I don't expect nothing this year. Like, I mean, until Shador gets in there, I think Harold Fannin might even struggle for sure. I definitely could see that. So, listen, I mean, I feel bad for the fans of Cleveland. terrible, terrible situation if you have Browns assets right now. We'll see how it progresses. And I do agree with Ty, Tessier, Mike. I fully expect to see a switch. And if it was before week 3, before that first Cleveland home game, I wouldn't be shocked because we all know they don't want to see Watson out on the field, period. So if they're 0-2, you could see the switch that early. But let's go over here now to the next question. And we're going to be starting with you, Mike. It's going to be Ashton Anxiety. Coming off this past weekend's injury scare with Ashton Jeanty, does this injury change anything about his value and ability to produce this season or in the short term? Or do you think this is something that definitely matters as we sit here today? And do you feel this could slow him down a bit? This is the first part of the question, Mike. I'll ask you another part, but what's your thoughts? I mean, does this worry you whatsoever? Because it is a high ankle sprain, right? Ankle sprains in general for running backs can linger. Does it worry you going into the season with this type of injury?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I was not necessarily in on Jeanty to begin with, and now that he has the injury, it scares me a lot. Just because, if you guys look back on last year, we had a historical season of RB health. People like CMC, Saquon, Jeanty, for instance, they were all healthy, and I think, and I hate to say it, the regression of health is coming, and Jeanty is one of those guys. I don't think the offense, even though the offensive line did get better, I think outside of Bowers, you don't really have to worry about anybody else in the passing game. So once you get him covered, you're going to put a lot of people in the box, and then Jeanty is going to have that injury where he can't cut as well as he's capable of. He can't accelerate. If it's a high ankle sprain, it takes a little time. I think I read it takes like 2 to 6 weeks, depending on the player. And knowing Jeanty, he's going to try everything in his power to get onto that field, even though he's not 100%. So I personally, if I'm in a dynasty league and I have Jeanty, you try everything in your power to get the backup and hope for the best. But I can't. If I'm in a redraft, and I'm doing this because people are doing the redraft now, I'm trying to avoid drafting him unless it's absolute blockbuster like pick. Like I have him in like 210 or something like that. So
for sure, Mike, and you know I love the fact too that you give love to the redrafters out there too, because this is the draft season. There's a lot of drafting going on, so appreciate you putting that into context for those folks as well. But all right, there you mentioned it, Mike, the handcuff. I mean, if you have Ashton Jeanty, how do you feel about Mike Washington as a handcuff this season and going forward? I mean, do you have confidence? Because like if a Jeanty does miss extended time, do you think that he could produce okay numbers? Because let's be honest, I mean, he's a solid guy, but Ashton Jeanty's labeled special, right? I mean, and this line is still not great. We know, looking at Washington's profile, he's not this big-time explosive playmaking type of guy. So what's your take on Washington now being the handcuff here, and what's your thoughts?
I like it. I think Washington can provide good, solid flex to RB2 numbers. I don't think he's going to give you that Jeanty, like we're hoping to be an RB1 kind of guy. I think, personally, right now the tea leaves have said, because they haven't signed anyone, they haven't gone out and, traded for anyone. I mean, James Conner's still out there, all these different guys they could go out and get. I think, personally, Clint Kubiak is still pretty good with Washington, and it also gives credit to maybe Jeanty is a little bit better than what we think. But, again, fooled me once, shame on you. Fooled me twice, shame on me. If he's hurt now, he could get hurt again. So, for me, Washington could provide that decent enough ceiling or floor to be like, I can plug him in my lineup depending on the matchup.
All right. Mike, appreciate the insight. Let's go over here now to Tessier. Tessier, we have Ashton Jeanty coming off this past weekend's injury scare. Does Jeanty's injury change anything about his value and ability to produce this season or in the short term in your eyes? Or do you think this is something that definitely matters or doesn't matter as we get close to the season? And again, like I said, it's context of the injury. It's an ankle injury, and them can linger. What's your thoughts?
It does matter. This does impact our view because I think in redraft it's going to affect his ADP a little bit. I think he's going to slide down a little bit, and rightfully he should, because my advice for Mike alluded to the redrafters here, I wouldn't be going and reaching for Jeanty with this injury that's going to linger through the first couple of weeks of the season. I'd rather take my shots and gamble on a Cook or a Taylor or a Chase Brown, one of those guys in the first or second round of your drafts than trying to reach on Jeanty with this injury. I think this long term is going to impact the workload. I think if we were going into this year thinking it was going to be an 80-20 Jeanty to the remaining backs on this roster thing, I think it's going to be close to more a 70-30. And I think Mike Washington, he showed flashes this preseason already of his big playability. I think he's going to be a thing, and this Kubiak system is going to come into play, and you're going to see a lot of Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker-like performances out of these guys early on in the start of the year, and it's going to puzzle some people. And if there's any bit of a dip in Ashton Jeanty's value in Dynasty, I would go and take the sniff around those owners and see what you could get for him if there's any bit of a price lowering due to his injury or like a hesitancy on a Dynasty manager because they just don't want to play that game. Because I think long term, I think Jeanty could be a top 10 back in this league. He could be really good. So my strategy would be I'm not drafting him anywhere. I'm not going my way to reach for him, but I would lean into the exploring the option of maybe trading for him if there's a dip or if there's another injury scare later on in the year, because short term, yes, it's going to be frustrating, I think, because of the schedule and just how getting used to a new offensive scheme is going to be, to making a top 10 running back out of him this year a little bit harder, though everyone wants to jam him in there and be that guy. But long term, I think he'll be just fine. And for Mike Washington, I've been preaching this guy up and down all off season, because if he's going to get the workload due to an Ashton Jeanty injury, he could be solid RB2, RB3 for you this year. And he might be the difference of whether you make a late run for the playoffs or getting into the ship if there's, Jeanty has a longer term injury. It re-aggravates it because, like you said, TJ, soft tissues aren't anything to mess around about. They linger and they can really impact a player's sustained performances on a season and really cap their ceiling. So I'm high on Washington. I'm exploring some Jeanty, but all in all, I think this running game is going to be good in Kubiak's hands.
For sure, and I can definitely agree to that. I think Kubiak will make a difference. All right, Ty, I mean, here we go. Ashton anxiety coming off this past weekend's injury scare. Does Ashton Jeanty's injury change anything about his value and ability to produce this season in your eyes in the short term? Or do you think this is something that definitely matters as we sit here today, and do you feel this could slow him down a bit early in the season?
No, it don't matter to me. I mean, yeah, it sucks if you're going to miss him for a couple weeks or however long he's out. But, I mean, he's a running back. He's going to get injured. I mean, he didn't get injured last year. He played every game. Just kind of a freak thing. The guy has a lot of talent. It's just, I think people overreact a little bit. Yeah, it's frustrating, but like I said, I mean, he's a running back. Every running back that's ever played the game has went through an injury. Luckily, it wasn't anything devastating. I mean, it's a high ankle sprain. Yeah, it's serious. It sucks a little bit, but some of the best backs in the game come back pretty easily from high ankle sprains. He just needs some rest. Hopefully they don't rush him back, and it isn't going to hurt his value one bit.
I really don't think it's like value hurting, I guess, but like early in the season, though, do you think it could slow him down? I mean, that's the thing. Like, it could linger a little bit, right, going into the first couple of weeks. I mean, that don't concern you at all?
I mean, I guess it can slow him down a little bit. I mean, nothing catastrophic. I mean, I'm not sitting here chewing my fingernails. You're going to keep me up all night. Like,
you sure about that?
Yeah, so it slows him down a little bit. It is what it is. He's a grown man. He's a big guy. He'll be fine.
All right, so asking the next part of the question here about Mike Washington, like if you have Jeanty, do you feel comfortable in him as the handcuff, right? Had a couple nice looks there in preseason, as Teixeira and Mike mentioned. They haven't raced to add anybody into this running back room. Do you think this is a solid handcuff, and would you like to maybe add him to your roster later in the startup or something like that?
I mean, yeah, he's okay. He's a rookie. I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, the preseason, he looked pretty good. I mean, he really is a nobody in college. Wasn't that great.
Wasn't a big name.
No, it wasn't a big name because he wasn't that impressive.
But it was good, though, that Kubiak specifically wanted him, I guess, though, right? I mean, like, he had a reason to draft him.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Again, he's a rookie. I really don't get into much of that. Preseason did look solid. I don't think he's anything special. I think he's a guy that will fill in. He's going to do his thing, kind of like what Zamir White did there.
Zeus.
Yeah, just a guy filling in for me. But Jeanty's the guy there. I think when he comes back, expect a full workload. So,
all right. So Ty is not super concerned, right? You know, I mean, he must be feeling pretty good tonight. Not overly worried. we'll see where it goes with Ashton Jeanty, but it is something to keep your eye on because, as Tessier said, this can linger. So, I mean, as long as I think they don't rush him back, and I think Ty said that, right? Like, nothing's super fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably will work itself out, but the Raiders cannot rush him back, and hopefully they utilize him in the right way regarding his health. But we'll go over now to the next question, and we're going to be starting here with you, Tessier, and we have a little bit of a spin-off on this question as well because we had a trade go down here recently in the past few days. It's the Lone Star Booty, is like I call this question. We have seeing Kayshon Boutte being traded to the Texans earlier here in the week. How do you feel he will do in Houston? Is this a change of scenery, a good thing for him? And does this help the Texans' offense overall? How do you feel about this move with Boutte down to the Texans here to share? Because if any team needs wide receiver help, it's definitely Houston.
Yeah, I think overall for Boutte, I think this was a good move for him, for his stake, a new change of scenery, a new team, and a new system. I think that he was just not fitting in there what the Patriots were trying to do, and they are already adding Dobbs and A.J. Brown to that wide receiver room. It just got a little bit cloudier, especially with the younger guys behind him with Pop Douglas and Kyle Williams trying to get their foot in the door as well. So I hope that helps him between the ears and get focused again and start really taking over this wide receiver room in the Texans, because I think it can. I think there's a huge gap. We didn't see a giant leap or really anything from Jalen Newell, and it sucks that Higgins got hurt. He had some flashes of what could have been, so I think he could fit that Jaden Higgins role in this offense in the interim until he gets back healthy. I know Tank Dell is making the return, but like the Xavier Hutchinsons, these other guys, the Texans needed a solid wide receiver to complement Nico Collins and take some pressure off the coverages and give CJ Stroud another weapon to in that offense. Whether or not he's going to be fantasy relevant this season, I think he's still going to put up, wide receiver 3 numbers. He'll have his big games at some point. It's because Nico Collins is known to get hurt, and if he were to miss time, then he'd be really valuable for that offense because he'd be most likely the top receiving option down there. And as far as Dynasty goes, he's still a younger guy, and I think that if he's out on waivers, take a flyer on him if you got a roster spot, and I wouldn't mind throwing a third, late second his way to get him if you need wide receiver help specifically on a contending team. As a rebuilder, I'm probably staying away. I mean, it's not a move the needle kind of deal for him to like get him on your roster and make him a part of your rotation. But all in all, I think this is a net positive for the Texans, for Boutte, and for clearing out that wide receiver room in New England. I think it helps all parties involved, and it should be a good season for Boutte.
Okay, so I'll hit you with a spinoff here now to share with Boutte going out of the door in New England, and you mentioned Romeo Doubs and A.J. Brown. We have a void there at the wide receiver 3 spot. What do you see going on there? Who do you see maybe filling that void? We got Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, and Mac Hollins left there. I mean, who do you like maybe to take that third spot? And again, like Dobbs, I mean, Tessier, better than anybody. He goes down quite a bit with injury-type deals. So what's your thoughts there on a guy that could fill that next spot in New England? Who do you like?
Yeah, as of being close to the situation and just watching a whole lot of it, I'm not expecting Dobbs to just solidify, be cemented as that wide receiver 2 in New England. I think his job is not so safe. I think Pop Douglas or Kyle Williams could easily creep up on him if he has some slower performances or just starts off really off, or because he's been a head case in Green Bay too. And if things are going his way, getting frustrated there, not getting the targets, not getting the touchdowns, if he starts piping off again and being a problem, I think the void of Boutte leaving, most likely it's going to be Douglas, I would suspect, that takes over that role. That guy that is in the gaps, filling the zones, and just being that yak dude. But I really would like it by the season end be Kyle Williams. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of upside. And I think he fits that offense really good. So immediately I'm going to say, I know it's kind of like a both sides answer, but to start the year, I'd likely Pop Douglas is going to pop off right away, no pun intended. But long-term in Dynasty going forward, I think out of between Dobbs, Douglas, and Williams, that you want to go after Williams as that secondary receiving option, the Patriots.
Okay, interesting. Teixeira, Ty, talking about this. He kind of likes Booty down there in Houston, just for a simple fact, process by elimination, right? They need somebody there, and, I mean, just to be fair, he's better than Zay Jones, right? Like, I mean, he just is, and the people that they added. So, seeing Kayshon Booty being traded to the Texans, Ty, how do you feel he will do down in Houston? Is this a change of scenery, be good for him, and does this help the Texans' offense overall? Do you feel like is this a new move that they absolutely needed to make to get someone in there, maybe a little more youthful? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, they definitely had to get somebody. Not a bad pickup. I'm not expecting anything extravagant. I think we know what Butte is. He's like a wide receiver 40, 45 guy. I could see that again in that offense. I mean, C.J. Stroud's throwing the football. That doesn't make me excited.
You sure about that?
The only wide receiver, too, that's really done well there was Tank Dell, who's a completely different type of guy, like completely different prototypical type guy. It didn't really work for Higgins last year, and him and Butte are kind of similar builds, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, it's good for Butte, definitely. I think it will help him better than being stuck in New England, which, however, that log jam's going to kind of play out. But definitely a move I think Houston needed to make. I mean, maybe try to get Tyreek, maybe the only other thing they could have possibly tried to do. But they got him for cheap. He's not a bad receiver, but he's nothing special. So it don't really move the needle for me. I wasn't in on him before, and I'm still not in on him.
So no draft capital, no nothing. Nick, you're not shopping at all?
No.
Okay. All right. So, Ty, going over to the spinoff question here, with Booty out of New England, a situation you know very well, what's your take on how this wide receiver 3/Dobbs backup type of guy work out? Do you like Pop Douglas? Do you like Kyle Williams or Mac Hollins to kind of fill that void? Or maybe you could see maybe all three of them doing a little bit. What's your take? Do you think there could be a separator there?
I think all three will. I don't see a separator by any means. I just think they're three guys. They're not scrubs by any means, but nothing too serious. I know Kyle Williams getting a little bit of hype in training camp. But if I had to pick one, I think it'll be Pop Douglas. He's been there for a while. He knows the system. He's completely different than what Dobbs and A.J. Brown are. He's a guy that opens it up through the middle. So change of pace guy. And he's been there a while. Him and Drake may have kind of developed a decent chemistry. So I'm gonna say Pop Douglas and then probably Kyle Williams and then Mac Hollins last for me.
So similarly to share, like maybe later down the line, you could see Kyle Williams get more involved if he continues to develop and grow as a player. But you like Pop Douglas at least early on.
Yeah, just on his build. I just think he's something a little different.
You like the kind of makeup of his size and what he brings. Okay, interesting. All right, so Ty, not really interested in Kayshon Boutte, does say that Houston, it's a good move for them to make because they do need help. And, saying, hey, Pop Douglas agreeing with Teixeira in the short term, but not throwing any super cold water on Kyle Williams either for the future. What's your thoughts here now, Mike, with Kayshon Boutte, the Lone Star Boutte down there in Houston, getting traded there over the weekend, landing in Houston? What's your thoughts on him in this offense? How do you feel with the Texans overall? Do you think this helps? Do you think this is something they needed to do? And are you in or out on them as far as any fantasy implications?
Yeah, I'll agree with Ty. I think this is more of a better in real life than fantasy move. I think with what happened to Higgins, and I think Noel is battling an injury, Tank's coming back. They needed someone with Nico. I think Nico is by himself, and it still doesn't affect his role. We know Nico's the alpha wide receiver. We'll still have Dalton Schultz, Montgomery in the running game. I think they just needed a deep ball threat. I think, like you guys said, I think he just needed to get out of New England with all those different mouths to feed. Now A.J. Brown in there. He wanted out, so this is perfect for him. Now he can be a solidified wide receiver too in a decent offense that is ascending. I think if CJ takes that next step. In fantasy, am I running out to get him? No. But is he somebody like if he's on the waiver wire, I have an extra bench spot? Sure, why not? We all love those lottery tickets. He could be somebody who could be something there at the end. Like I said, Noel is still hurt and Tank is still coming back. I still believe in Tank's ability. If if all the rehab and all those videos are true, maybe it can be something. But I like this move. Real life fantasy, it's kind of like lukewarm, if anything. It's nothing.
For sure. And, it's still a position that they really have not straightened out. And to Ty's credit, right, it could be a lot of C.J. Stroud. Just can't get the ball to these guys. And maybe it's on the offensive line too, right? Like, we know it's bad. They don't give him a lot of time to begin with, so we can't place all the blame at his feet too, because this whole offensive structure is bad. I mean, you look at their defense, it's phenomenal. D'Amico has done a tremendous job building that unit up, but the offense has very well been neglected. But okay, Mike, spin off with the New England thing. Looking at this wide receiver 3, the Dobbs backup type of role in case of an injury. Who do you like maybe stepping in there and taking the bull by the horn, so to speak? Kyle Williams, Pop Douglas, Mac Hollins, or could you see a combination of things happening like Ty and Tessier kind of mentioned?
I mean, personally, when I saw this question, the first person I thought of was Hunter Henry. I feel like Hunter Henry is who will be the quote-unquote wide receiver 3 behind Dobbs and 8. I believe they still want to use him. But if I had to pick one of these 3 guys to have any fantasy value in a wide receiver 3 role, I always go with Mac Hollins. I feel like the veteran guy who caught those deep balls from Drake May. I feel like Drake May always looks for him. He's one of those guys that when he ever catches the ball, if you remember Pierre Garçon back in the day, it just was like, oh shit, they have Pierre Garçon. Like, he's not that bad. I feel like Mac Hollins is the same way. I feel like he just catches the ball in the middle of the field. He takes hard hits. We know he's crazy in the head with all his pregame antics, no shoes and socks on in snow and stuff like that. But, you hope that Williams or Pop come out from this and become something because they're the younger guys. And I know we really like their tape and what they've been there in the offense and everything like that. I just feel like Mac Hollins, he's just the veteran guy, and you want those veteran guys out there with AJ and Dobbs. So if I had to pick one, Hollins would be my pick.
Well, let me just say, Mike, interesting enough you say Hunter Henry, right? Because a lot of people forget that, right? Like, he does have a connection with Drake May, and I'm glad you brought that up. And let me just say this, too. I mean, Vrabel is a veteran-type friendly player. So, I don't think Mac Hollins will be just absolute dust either. So I could see him at least leaning on him a little bit. So I'm glad you brought that up from that context as well. But, yeah, Kyle Williams, you guys know how I feel about him, right? Someone I like to tape up. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be a wide receiver 1 in this league or anything like that. But, you can see the explosive ability on tape in college. And to Ty's credit, Pop Douglas brings a little bit of something. Listen, if I'm a New England Patriots fan, and I'm a Drake May guy like Ty is, you got to be really happy because this is a diverse, different wide receiver group, and it's definitely by far the best group he's had, by far. So we'll see what they can bring to the table. A little bit of everything, right? A little bit of everything. And honestly, I think, Ty, you can make a case for at least having roster spots for all these guys.
Oh, yeah.
100%. So sometimes you get those cloggers, but I think there could be value even a little bit here and there on all of them. So it's never bad to have a little bit of depth on a good team as well. But watch out for Kyle Williams. You guys know how I feel about that kid. I hope he hits a couple big plays during the season. I think he's got the ability. And Ty's got the right guy throwing the ball there in New England and Drake May. Let's go over now to the last question, and we're going to kick it back here now to you, Ty. And it's going to be sell now or forever hold your peace with the season starting. I'm going to really put you guys to the test, your loyalties, your thoughts on some of these players. Is it time to get out now? Are we going to hold? Are we going to pay the price? What are we doing? Let's talk about it. So I'm going to list these players, Ty, who are on the fringe of maybe losing a ton of value if things go bad this season here. So I want to know if you would be willing to sell these players right now for the price I have listed, or if you would rather hold and gamble that they could maybe even up their value a little bit more than what it is now. Sam Laporta or a 2027 late first, Ty? Are you going to hold Sam Laporta? Are you going to take the first in a good class and move on? This is a tough one. What's your thoughts?
I'm going to hold Laporta. I'm still a big believer. I still think he's one of the best tight ends in the league. I know stuff hasn't been great since his rookie year. He's kind of went down in every metric the last couple years since the rookie year, and then the injuries have been frustrating. But, he was on track last year to be like a top 3 or top 4 guy. He's having a great season until he went down. I still think he has a lot left. He's only 25 years old, There's reports coming out that they're already talking extensions in Detroit. I know a lot of people are just kind of against this guy now. I remember at one time in that rookie season, people were trading 2 firsts for him, and I'm still a big believer that he can get back to that rookie season. He's a heck of a player. He fits that line system perfectly, and I'm not afraid of the coaching changes or anything. Yeah, obviously it would be nicer if Ben Johnson was still there, and he's not. But still, I don't think it's devastating by any means. Jared Goff's still there. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Detroit, but I'm still a big believer in Laporta to return, be like a top 5 guy at the position. I think he can do it.
Well, I think you think he can do it, but the injuries does not scare you at all.
No.
I mean, like the fact that it's been multiple years, they've kind of been bad injuries.
No.
You're still going to gamble.
Yeah.
All right, Ty's still going to gamble. He's still going to, search for that pot of gold at the end of the Sam Laporta rainbow. He's in on him. Ty, I mean, he's going to stick up for the people he believes in. There's no doubt about it. He likes his chances of returning to form. Okay, Mike, I know you were loving it seeing Tessier because he's just like eating at this question already to start out. Sam Laporta or a 2027 late first? Are you moving on? Or are you going to gamble with Ty and hold Mr. Laporta? What's your thoughts?
Man, Tessier really doesn't like this question, huh? Faces down there. And for me, I am sticking with Laporta. I'm sorry, Tessier. I'm going to give him one more year. The reason why is also the offensive coordinator position. Even though the ball-headed monster that came from Arizona, there was one thing he did really, really well. He helped Trey McBride do well. So if he can do that, he can make Sam Laporta look good. I don't think Laporta is getting enough credit after his rookie season. I think the sophomore season with the injuries and everything like that really derailed his value. I think late first, I mean, what am I really getting? I know we were touting this class. I really need, if it's a tight end premium, a really good tight end. And outside of Bowers and McBride, there's still some question marks. Even my boy Loveland, I don't know what he's going to be. I don't know what Warren's going to be. Same with Laporta, Kraft. Like, these guys are guys that you want to take shots on just in case they ascend to that level and cement themselves in a top 3, top 4 kind of thing. A 2027 late first really isn't going to break the bank. It means also that I'm going to take a contender's pick, which I don't know if that's going to be enough for me. And I believe in Sam Laporta to be a good tight end, whether it's premium or not, to be somebody, to be a difference maker in my fantasy lineup.
Okay, so Mike's going to go with Ty. Red and blue make purple. They're together on this. All right, Tessier, here you go. He's been fired up. He can't wait to talk about it. Mike can't wait for the answer down there in the yellow corner. Tessier, I know I don't got to say it. Sam Laporta or the 2027 late first? Why are you going the direction you're going? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, the only way I'm touching Sam Laporta is if that's a tight end premium scoring league. He's not in the top 5 of tight ends for me going in 2026, and he barely scratches the top 10. I want to put this to bed right now. Ben Johnson made Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta isn't that kind of guy. They're going to be operating in that offense with Baby Boss there. He is definitely not a Trey McBride, that's for certain. And I think that this offense now with the offensive line struggles, he's going to have to do more pass blocking, run blocking, and going out in the flat and doing the killing he did at yards after catch and catching the ball and being a third down and red zone threat. I think they're going to want to showcase Jahmyr Gibbs a lot. They're going to want to run the ball, and that's going to force him to be staying closer to the line of scrimmage and closer to Goff, and that's definitely going to hurt his fantasy performance. And I don't see Sam Laporta as a type of tight end that I'm trying to anchor my contending teams around, certainly, but like a rebuilder. I think I'd rather move off and try to build around at a different position with that late first than try to have Sam Laporta wedged in as my tight end 1. I like so many other tight ends better than him. I think it's going to be a tempered expectation season. And we've seen this the last 3 years now with the Lions. They go through offensive coordinators left, right, and center, and they're still going to want to make Jameson Williams the thing. They're going to be giving Amon-Ra St. Brown his 120-something odd targets. And now they got Isaac Tesla, who's this bigger body receiver that they like a lot in the red zone that I think is going to absorb a lot of the targets down there that once were inherited by Sam Laporta. Those injuries he did sustain also are serious. It's a hip and groin injury in preseason, so it could lead to a slower start here in week 1 and beyond. And last year with the whole neck injury, the back injury, it just, we don't know how well he's going to be moving, if he's going to be afraid to go after the catch. I mean, I know he's a NFL player, a grown man, but we don't know the sort of mental toll that sort of surgery and rehab and everything and the amount of time he's been away from the game is going to impact him. So if I'm going to gamble my roster going forward, I'm going to take it on the 2027 first, and I will with Sam Laporta.
All right. So let me just say this. I'm throwing my lot in with Tessier on this one because I'm going to tell you right now, he knows this Lions team inside and out, up, down, and sideways. I know he don't have a good feeling about this. I know the contract's kind of up in the air as well. The injuries are a big thing. I know, Ty, I know you don't like it. I mean, you and Mike, the red and blue make purple. But listen, we got to, yellow, a little bit different shade makes gold. And I have to agree with Tessier here on this one. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't trust it. I don't think I could trust it. I wouldn't bank everything on it. And I know, we're just talking NFC North. I know you and Mike and me and Tessier all can agree. We have Tucker Kraft and Colson Loveland rated above Sam Laporta enough. I think that I like them guys.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, it's like this. It's like, well, right there. Okay, so you have McBride over him.
Okay.
You have Bowers over him.
Sure.
You have Loveland over him.
Maybe.
Yeah, I do. Kraft.
If he can stay healthy, sure.
Okay, so right there, I mean, you're already looking outside of the top 5 pretty much. I mean, where does he fit? How much value is he really worth?
All I'm saying is the guy was on track to have possibly his best season last year until he had the injury. And it wasn't all about the touchdowns. The first 2 years, a lot of people were saying he was kind of touchdown dependent. He only had 3 touchdowns last year. He was on track to almost have a 1,000-yard season. I just wouldn't be giving him away for a 1 first. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So, Ty, getting really defensive over Sam Laporta.
That's the truth. I'm tired of people wanting to give away good players for 1 pick.
I personally would draft Loveland over Laporta.
I would, too. You would pick Loveland over Laporta. I know you would.
In a dynasty, sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. So, enough with the NFC North tight end talk. Let's go over to the next one here. Mike, we'll start with you. Cam Skattebo or a late 2027 first? It's the crayon eater himself, a guy that, you referenced with the Bash Brothers with Jackson Dart. Would you take the late first or would you take Cam Skattebo?
I have no idea what to do with this guy. This guy, I feel like he's just a walking rock and roll concert. It's like, I want to believe in him. I think he's going to have great success in terms of when he's on the football field. But that's the thing. Can this guy stop being, I hate to say it, dumb with his body, the back flipping and going to wrestling events and with his cast on. He already got hurt once, and it's his rookie season. I feel like we're going to keep watching him get hurt again. So me personally, I'm just going to take the late first. It's nothing against Cam Skattebo as the actual player. I'm just also worried about the Giants' offense. Matt Nagy, man, he's not a good offensive coordinator, at all. I'm getting kind of scared about Jackson Dart. I'm getting scared about Neighbors. I'm getting scared about Likely. A lot of this might be just a 1 year, 2 year thing with Nagy, but at the same time, we're a year of like I said, a rock and roll concert running back who's just going to bash through everything and doesn't care about his body when he's 27, 28 years old. Might as well just get out now. Use the 2027 late first to get you a running back within his range that I really like Breece Hall. We've talked about it many times to share. We really like Breece Hall, or draft somebody at that spot. I'm sorry. I get the love for Cam Skattebo. I get if anybody wants to keep him for whatever reason, and a 2027 late first might not be enough. But at the same time, I'm just out on the Giants, completely. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it's definitely looking like a bad situation. It could potentially become worse. And, I don't think that they're going to really, blow up quickly either. I think a lot of people are hoping that the rocket engages and fires quickly this year. I mean, kind of like how it did in New England. I just don't see that. I think it's going to be a tougher go for them. It's going to be a slower start. All right, Tessier, Cam Skattebo, hillbilly rock star out of control, or a 2027 late first? Which are you taking here?
I'm going to go with the 2027 late first as a contender. I don't like the injury history and just how he's taking care of himself in the offseason, which with dynasty purposes, how long that leads him in his career if he makes it past his rookie contract. I like the talent. I like the ability. The running style is a great aesthetic for the league. It's super fun to watch. And with my builds, I just don't see him fitting in to be a contending on a contending roster for me. I'd rather take like the Judkins, the Halls, like what Mike said, and take gambles on them and maybe more or less efficient offenses or better offenses. But drafting wise, I think he's just a guy that you could probably just steer clear from if possible. And if he falls to you, great, but certainly not reach. And I think with that 2027 late first, it just, I think by the end of the year, it holds up more in value than what you could get at Cam Skattebo at the end of the year. I think cashing out on him now is probably the better and wiser decision for your dynasty rosters than holding him and then having the regret and then trying to move him later for scraps.
For sure. All right, Ty, we'll finish off here with you. Cam Skattebo, or a late 2027 first. Interesting player with a lot going on. What's your thoughts and feelings here?
Yeah, I'll take the pick. But that's what I'm even kind of going back to the Laporta thing. It's just kind of crazy to me how them two are kind of in the same bracket. But I'll definitely take the pick on Skattebo. Really, what are you going to miss out if the guy does hit? I mean, I think he's a good player. He scores some touchdowns. But I don't think there's a long-term fantasy value there, personally. He's kind of a wild man. We've seen that time and time again. And I just really don't want the headache. I think you're always going to be holding your breath with him when he's on the field because he's looking for contact or he's out doing something stupid in the offseason. So, I'm just going to take the pick. I don't see his value ever being any higher than that, than a 2027 first. So, I'll take the pick.
For sure, and considering a lot of people drafted him in the mid-late second round of their dynasty rookie draft, I mean, you're getting a good return on investment. And like you said, Ty, and I love how you put it, it isn't just so much about off the field, it's on the field. The way he hits people and runs into people like a bowling ball. And, I mean, look, it's great, but it's short-term great. Even if he stays healthy, as Ty said, what are you really going to miss out on long-term? Even if he is, running back 11 or 12. And I think he could, if he stayed healthy, maybe get there. But, I mean, that's kind of the ceiling. I just don't see really much explosiveness and longevity with his running style. So, all right. So, let's go over here now to the next one here on the list, and we're going to be starting out here with you on this one, Teixeira. Rome Odunze or a 2027 late first? Which direction you going here?
I'm going with Rome Odunze. I'm a little bit higher on him than most people. I think the direction people are going is Colston, Loveland, and Luther Burden. Fair, but I think it's like a player preference style. I mean, and the builds I have, having him as my wide receiver 3 or 4 and giving up a late first for it is fine by me. I think it'll be a slow start to the year for sure. Once Caleb gets rolling, I think he's just a big touchdown threat in the red zone area. He's going to be the clutch guy there in that offense. And he's still relatively young. There's a lot of builds I have of like the Mike Evanses and the Terry McLaurins and Devontae Adams. And if I need to get a guy like revitalize my wide receiver room, I like the idea of his upside and what he can bring on an offense that I think is going to get better here with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams being more efficient. I think he's going to have value that will hold up, that won't feel like it stings as much giving up a late first to get him. And you can keep him in your wide receiver room beyond 2026 and be content with it.
Okay, so Teixeira is going to go with Rome. Ty, Rome Odunze, or a 2027 late first? Which route are you headed?
Yeah, I'm taking the pick. Easiest one so far for me. I'm not falling for it. I don't think the guy is that special. I don't think he's a scrub, but I just don't ever see him being near a wide receiver 1. He's got the ceiling of a wide receiver 2, back end personally for me. I just haven't seen enough. I mean, I think it's ludicrous to trade a pick in 2027 first for a guy that's finished 49 and 41 in his career. And he did have an injury last year, but I haven't seen enough. I think now these are kind of the players you can get burned on. You just have not seen enough, and you're banking on it, and it just never comes. It could come, but sometimes it just never comes. And I've just never been a Rome Odunze guy. I don't like the Chicago Bears wide receiver core. I've kind of been on that bandwagon for a while now. I'm just kind of staying away. I think he's a guy. It could go good, but I think he's a guy that can burn you personally. So I'm going to stay away, and I'm going to take the pick.
And I know, too, like you said, you have been notorious this offseason being against the Chicago wide receiver room.
Yeah.
For sure. So, okay, Mike, finishing off with you, Rome Odunze or a late 2027 first. What's your thoughts?
I commend the yellow corner for putting, I guess you could say, a flag plant on Rome Odunze. I just am not there. I personally, like we've talked about this offseason, I think it's a run-first offense, and I mean, like, we don't need to get into Colston Loveland. That would take too long. But my point is I feel like there's too many discussions of, is it Luther, is it Rome, is it this, is it that? I feel like no one really is going to emerge into a player that I'm going to be like, I have the number one wide receiver for the Chicago Bears. I feel like it's a hot hand situation. I feel like it's a different coverage situation. I like Rome's breakout ability that he had his rookie season. I think they drafted Luther Burden as the replacement for DJ Moore. So personally, it's just, I think the people that you want in this offense is the quarterback, tight end, and running back. And the wide receivers are pretty good. And I wouldn't say like I'm out on them completely, but a 2027 late first for a guy that I'm gambling on to hopefully be a top 15 guy, I think that's perfect for me. I think that's a perfect deal, and I would take it 10 times out of 10. And Rome could break out and be a star. That's perfectly fine. So
Agreed. And you're going the tide direction of, hey, we're not banking on it, right? Like, and that's the thing, right? I mean, Tessier likes the player, believes in the player. We all have players that we're going to plant flags on. I'm just going the other way too. I'm like Ty, like, and Mike's preference of like Loveland is just, I think, going to get the whole bulk of what's going to be in the passing game, and whatever's left is going to go to the other guys. And I think Burton's going to be that guy that's going to have 1 week 27 points and the next week 5. Like, I just think that's kind of his makeup. And then you're going to get a heavy dose of the running game, right, with DeAndre and Monungai when he's back healthy. So I have to agree. I think the value's just too good with the pick. I'll take the pick. Ty, will come over here to you. Christian Watson or a 2027 early second?
Oh, give me the pick. Every day of the week, give me the pick. That's not even a contest. Yeah, I'm not. I don't understand what it is in the water with this guy. He was dead in the water. Now all of a sudden people are back on the train. His highest finish ever is wide receiver 41 in 4 years of play. It's just another player, kind of like there's Justin Fields of the position, where people just want to keep believing. Like, they don't want to just say, yeah, he's a guy that's just never really going to pan out. And yeah, the hype's there again, and I know I'm not falling for it. I never have. I'm not going to again. I think he's the third best wide receiver on that team. I think Golden and Reed are much better, but they'll trot him out as the number one guy, and we'll see how long he lasts if you guys want to put bets on it. So, yeah, I'm not touching the 10-foot pole, even if he does have a nice season, which I don't see it because I don't think he'll be there for it. Yeah, he's a guy you just can't trust. I don't want him on my team.
And he's the guy, like you said, of like when the value's high and it's ludicrous like this, and you look at a lot of calculators as even, you take advantage of it, right? Yeah. I mean, you got to at some point. Mike, okay, any difference in opinion than your blue corner cohort here? Do you like Watson, or would you rather take that early second?
No, I like Ty has every right to feel what he feels. Like you said, this is a very even trade, but I'm going to go the player route just because I know, I mean, getting burned by a player time and time after that, you just lose kind of the faith in it. I feel like now with Dobbs gone, Wick's gone, we have kind of clarity in this offense a little bit. I feel like Watson, Reed, and Golden are the three guys that are going to be what is being used. And then as well as Kraft, we don't know Kraft's health. And then Jacobs with maybe a suspension, not a suspension, they're going to air it out. And I feel like Watson, preface this always, if he's healthy, he is a good wide receiver. I mean, last year he had a pretty healthy end of the year stretch. He was getting touchdowns. He was the first option in what Love was trying to do, and I think Fleur likes to use him. I feel like early second is a little low for me. If this was like a late first, like we've been talking about the other players, obviously we'd smash it because TJ used the calculator and this was close. But I'm just more so saying, like, I believe in Watson. I believe he can do the things that he's capable of when healthy. And I think he finally got over that hump. I think he's going to be more durable, able to do what he can do. And like I said, a couple of those random guys are gone. So we know what the 3 wide receivers are going to be in those 3 wide receiver sets.
A little bit more clarity in that room, that's for sure. Teixeira, okay, to finish it off, Christian Watson or the early second? What's your thoughts on this Green Bay wide receiver room?
Well, it is a market we like to play, and it's a market that has a lot of demand. So I think this route, I'm going to hold on to the player solely on the sense of I played a lot of him last year, and I held on, I grinned and bear it, and I appreciated what he was able to do the second half of the season for me. And I'm going to hope that he's able to replicate that fast to begin the year with Tucker Kraft still coming back from injury and that other parts of that wide receiver room still trying to shake out. And I'm cashing out and trying to get a late first, try to get a little bit more value on him because like what Ty was alluding to, there's a cult following behind this guy. And if he pops off for 2 or 3 games, I think I can get more back in value than just an early second by getting him now because of just the value, the hype where he's going and drafted. And that's the way I want to play it. Personally, I don't want anything to do with him. I think he's got papier-mâché hamstrings, and I think he's going to be a bomb crater at some point during the year. But logically, though, as a fantasy, as a dynasty manager, I think that having him playing the risk, especially if you're not having him as your wide receiver 1 or 2, like if you're flexing a week to week, this could be a good piece to move on your rosters to like get ahead of the 2027 class or move pieces around to upgrade your team in other areas to be a more sustained contender going forward in Dynasty.
Okay, interesting. So I'm going to agree with Ty on this one. I'm taking the second because I think it's clearly made. Like I think Green Bay wants it to be Reed and Golden. I really do. I mean, like I know they brought him back. I think it was more of an insurance thing because I think they knew they were moving Wicks and I think they were moving Dobbs. They were going out. And if you look at the contract, like, I mean, a lot of people are like, I can't believe they paid it. But, like, Bob brought this up. I think, like, after this year, it's so easy to get out of, right? Like, I think it's a really easy out. So, I don't know. I definitely see where Teixeira's coming from, hoping to get more. Look, if it's like the 203 to 201, and I know it's probably going to be that, I'm definitely taking it, right? Like, I just feel like it's good enough. It's good enough for me. I mean, just a few spots won't make that huge of a difference. But, hey, it could pan out for you if you play it the way Teixeira says. If you get lucky, it could go that way because he does have a cult following. There's a lot of people that are believers, as Ty said. And if you could find one and you know there's one in your league, maybe you could take that gamble. But I think I want the early pick as well in the second round on Watson. Let's go over now to this one, Mike. R.J. Harvey or a 2027 early second. Jonah Coleman coming in. We know there's a little bit of change there. Sean Payton changes back sometimes like we change underwear. What's your thoughts? I mean, are you going to take the pick or are you going to take the player because it's close?
Yeah, I'll take the pick. I mean, I used to be Harvey a lot. I mean, I'd said it in one of our shows. I said, go get him. And then the next thing you know, we get Jonah Coleman and the J.K. Dobbins and all this nonsense. At some point, we just got to take our L's, and I took my L with this one. I believe in R.J. Harvey could be the starting back, but I don't believe in what Sean Payton likes to change these things, like you said. Like, unless it's an Alvin Kamara type of guy, even with Alvin Kamara, you bring other guys in to take some goal line work. He just loves to change backs. And I think at this point, we just got to take it to face value that the running backs in Denver are not something sustainable. I still believe J.K. is going to be the starter. Jonah Coleman's getting a lot of buzz. He loves to use a 3-headed monster, 4-headed monster. I mean, an early second sounds like a great way out for me. And I love the talent. Maybe he gets traded somewhere else. He could be a guy. But in this current juncture, I don't see he's leaving anytime soon. So, R.J. Harvey, you're the man. I want you to know that. This is nothing personal, but you're just in a bad situation, my friend.
You know what Mike says? This one's for me and all my homies as he pours out the drink for R.J. Harvey. So, Mike, I mean, look, I love the fact that, look, I mean, you're definitely concerned about this, and I think it is a little bit of a worry for sure, just knowing Sean Payton's checkered past with the running back position. Okay, Teixeira, R.J. Harvey or a early 2027 second? Which direction are you headed?
I'm going to take the Bob route here, and don't threaten me with a good time, and I'm going to run away with the pick and get into the 2027 draft class and not lose an ounce of sleep about it. I'm with Mike here. It's solely because of the situation, the offense, and the coach that's running there. I don't believe that R.J. Harvey's ever going to get an 80-20 level of volume or opportunities. Yes, he could be a touchdown, like best ball kind of a guy where he has big spike weeks, and if you decide to still have faith, I think you cash out on him on one of those weeks. But like, if the starting price is a 20-27 second, I'm just going to take it and avoid the whole headache of whatever this Broncos offense is this year. I've been out on it since like early last season, and it hasn't changed my mind. I think the running back though in that backfield you want to start the year is J.K. Dobbins, and by the end of the year you want Jonah Coleman, and R.J. Harvey is just going to be that odd man out unless you can get him for peanuts and lower than a value to, like, if you're trying to trade for him. But I'm not sending a 2027 second to get him.
Middle of the race, caught in the middle, right? I kind of like that analogy to Shara, right? Definitely could make a case for that. Okay, Ty, well, we know Sean Payton don't have one of your favorite players, Taysom Hill, on the roster there in Denver anymore to plunge away at touchdowns and take dirty points. But there is a crowded backfield a little bit at this point. Do you take R.J. Harvey? You take the early 2027 second?
Yeah, I'll probably lean the pick. I like what he brings to the table. Yeah, it's just more of the situation for me, not really even the player. Like, the sample size we've seen has been pretty impressive, but yeah, I'm kind of like these fellas. Like, it's just, is he ever really going to be the number one guy there? And I don't think he will. Sean Payton, like we've talked, I mean, he just likes to switch the backs out, and there's nothing worse when your guy gets down near that goal line and someone else plows it in and steals your points. I've been there a million times, and it's frustrating. So, yeah, I like what he has in the receiving game. He catches a lot of balls, and he scored quite a few touchdowns last year. But, yeah, that's the main thing for me is the consistency. And and that's a very, very big thing in fantasy football because that will make or break weeks for you all season long, especially in the playoffs. So, I'm just going to lean the pick. But I don't think it's too far off.
No, I mean, it's close, and a lot of these are close value-wise.
Yeah, it's very close.
When you look at the value. But, Ty, I'm going to ask you one question before we wrap up the show. Who pissed you off more through the years, A.J. Dillon or Taysom Hill?
Oh, A.J. Dillon. I fucking hate that guy.
And he's still on roster right now down there in Carolina. He's still breathing. He's got one hand. It's like the dead Frankenstein when the hand comes back up through. That's A.J. Dillon. He might ruin some of your Chuba Hubbard moments this year.
Yeah, better not.
I had to bring that up there, but we have a winner. The winner of tonight's episode in the red corner is Mike, bringing it home. And let me just say this here right now. A very solid performance. He's dealing with technical difficulties like we were, and he still rolled right through it. Give it the old left jab, right hook. Come right through. So, Mike, all right, you got a minute to talk about what you want. We got a week almost before football begins. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, so I alluded to it at the beginning of the show, regression, right? We talked about RB Health and how it was amazing last year. It was like one of the best seasons. I don't think anybody really big went down. So now we have Love dealing with injuries. We had Jacobs, Jeanty we talked about in the show. Walker had an disclosed injury today with his foot. Like, it's a lot of different things. So please stay water in your drafts this year. Like, don't think like just because there's a big running back run, you have to go out and get a running back. Just make sure that you fill out your rosters like the way you want to. And I'm talking more to the redraft people because, I know we're a Dynasty podcast, but everybody loves to do another redraft here and there. For Dynasty people, obviously go out there and get those handcuffs, Go get the Tank Bigsby's for Saquon's. Go get the Malik Washingtons for Raiders. And Kareem Hunt visited the Lions today. You never know. So I know I did that just to piss off Teixeira. But go out there, get your handcuffs, do your thing. And like TJ said, technical difficulties might hit us once, but we'll hit them twice. And we'll always give you a good show. So go out there. Do your thing in your drafts. Go get your handcuffs. Enjoy your season this year.
100%, Mike. Couldn't have said it better. And let me just say this, guys. If you are enjoying the content on Spotify, Apple Pod, Stitcher, Amazon, any of the big podcasting platforms, and you haven't yet, please follow and 5-star the show. Really helps. We so appreciate it. You want to check out Dynasty DNA on YouTube? Go over there. You won't be disappointed. We'll be live for Stardom Sit-em Saturday here during the season. You can come over, ask questions. We'll be live Sunday mornings for the Dynasty DNA kickoff shows before each and every week. We answer questions. We'll take your questions. We love talking to you guys. We'd love to have you over there. Make sure to check out Dynasty DNA on TikTok and Facebook, guys. We'd love to get them platforms growing. Love to have you over there. And make sure to follow Dynasty DNA on X at DynastyDNA_. And next week, get ready for the Dynasty DNA kickoff special, which will be going into the season a couple days before. Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have a 2-part show, special stuff since the season's about to begin. But listen, I know I speak for Ty, Teixeira, Mike, everybody here at the Dynasty DNA Podcasting Network when we say, hope you guys have a great rest of your week ahead of you. And we'll see you all on the next episode of From Whistle to Whistle.